Hello, I'm Dr. Penny Sywert.
I'm Linda Sessions, and welcome to BizBuzz.
This is our third podcast for BizBuzz, where today we're going to introduce you to another curriculum that we have here at WSU Tech. This is Brandie Thompson. She's the head of our interior design, and we're going to talk about that career option today. So hello, Brandie.
Hi.
And we have some questions for you, and we also like to talk about the popularity and the jobs of your curriculum.
Nice to be here.
Yes,
be here.
Thank you.
And while we're in the process of interviewing Brandie, this is something that you can do as an informational interview. So if there's somebody who's doing a job that you want to know more about, schedule an informational interview and talk to them, just like we're going to be talking to Brandie today.
And that means any of us at school.
Exactly.
I met with a student yesterday at a scholarship luncheon. I said, please come to school, talk to us, use resources that you have, that we're here to help you. And Brandie is also one of the teachers here to help you if you choose a career in interior design. But even if you're just thinking about it, come talk to us and talk specifically, Brandie. Okay.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm actually a graduate from the program back in the olden days when we were called WATC, clear back in the olden days. So from there, I did start working in residential design, but my love for interior design goes years past when I was a little kid, totally redesigning my bedroom and was weekly helping my parents redesign their house, my grandparents. Out of high school, I went and worked for a construction company. And life got in the way, got married, had children, put life on pause. That's when I came back to WATC, got my degree, went residential, and then an opportunity came up to start teaching here at the college. So I came back, and now I'm the department chair of the program.
Awesome. So, question I get a lot when students say, you have an interior design program?
Okay.
They want to know exactly what it is because they think it's a do-it-yourself, like HGTV type of a program.
Yeah, good point.
Oh, yeah.
So what exactly is the interior design program and how does it differ from things that we might see on HGTV?
So, yeah, HGTV is fantastic in the way of it opens the doors for students to realize, oh, maybe I do want to be an interior designer. But once they get here, HGTV becomes one of those four-letter words that we don't like to hear. They find out that we do so much more than what they show on HGTV. HGTV is just showing the pretty process. But we are basically one step below an architect. So we can move walls, we can add walls, we can design, one room, we can design an entire building. And we walk the students through that. We learn building codes. The first and foremost of an interior designer is to make sure that the space is safe. Pretty is all the extra after market part, but first and foremost, we want to make sure that the space is safe. So we teach the students building codes, and then we walk them through drafting so that they're able to draw floor plans. And we start out still by hand, and then we work our way up into AutoCAD, which is our computer-aided drafting. And then we go into a 3D drafting program. We learn kitchen and bath design. We learn commercial design, residential design. We try to teach them all aspects of interior design. Decorating is, unfortunately, the only course we do not teach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of things in there that, and I've known you a long time, that I wouldn't have thought about. And so I think that's so interesting to the students to know, not only is it kitchen, just different things like kitchen and bath and walls, but particularly the safety. Mm-hmm. I didn't, even think about the safety aspect, that safety in any kind of buildings, probably obviously interior design is very important these days. So I'm glad to know that about that aspect of this job or of the, curriculum then. So that was a good description. I think, because I always learn more when I talk to you about interior design. It's one of those things I wish I could learn more. Like, here it's cool if we could take a class once in a while. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. Administration.
Actually, I think we can.
Well, yeah. I don't want to,
I don't know about you, but I don't mind giving tests. I don't want to take the test.
yeah, that's kind of me too.
Yeah.
But I always find something interesting in the interior design when I'm looking at it. And so one of the things we wanted to ask is, what does make a good designer? You talked about so many things in this job, but I'm guessing there's all kinds of just your own maybe instincts, or along with the program that you.
Well, a lot of it is instincts. I mean, you got to have that natural ability to put things together. But for most, what makes a good designer is the ability to listen, the ability to take notes. You have to understand, in 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, when you're done with that project, you leave. You no longer have to look at that space, but your client does. So you need to make sure that you're designing the space for your client. And the best way to design this space for your client is to listen and to take notes. Mm-hmm. You do your best. Sometimes what the client wants isn't correct, as in it may not be safe. It may not be financially possible. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you have to listen to what your client wants and then try to politely educate your client on what would be a better solution than what they're asking for.
So what you're saying is that there's a lot of communication, mm-hmm. and it has to be a lot of good communication, mm-hmm. or there's going to be mistakes, or the client's not going to be happy. Mm-hmm. And then that's a whole nother problem that you'll deal with. Correct. So right off the bat, good communication skills, which is what we stress in the college. Mm-hmm. Now in anything that you major in, the correct and good communication skills right off in anything. So yes. So you start out with, and you find out what your customer, your client wants. And then what happens if you get into it a little bit and it does change and you have to tell them? Is that a problem? Are they pretty much glad that you have told them?
Oh, I mean, anything that changes, they get all excited. They're going to have this particular element put in their room. And then all of a sudden you find out supply chain cuts down, and all of a sudden that particular item's 6 months to a year out, but they want their project done next week. Something falls through, unexpected elements happen. But the biggest thing is communicate it with your client. Let them be part of the decision making. Sometimes it is, you really don't have a choice. There's a plumbing issue right here. We've got to get it fixed now. We've got to add another $10,000 to your project. Do you want mold? Or do you want fixed? But you have to communicate those with your clients. I know around school, I'm pretty well known for 3 letters, CYA, cover your rear end. That would be but all communicate. Oh, yeah. I mean, call your client, but then follow up with an email. We tell our students that when you get into the career, you don't order anything until it is signed off on.
Good point.
Everything needs to be on pen and paper. Mm-hmm. Everything must have some kind of traceability back, so that when the client goes, well, I didn't approve that. Mm-hmm. You can pull up a piece of paper and go, is that your signature? And so it is big communication. Mm-hmm. Communication's key.
And I like that you brought up about the supply chain.
Yes.
Because that probably has been quite a problem, obviously, since COVID.
Yes.
And I'm thinking that it isn't all the way resolved yet.
It's getting better. I mean, I know kitchen cabinets were a couple of years out. Mm-hmm. Now we're down to just months. But when COVID came, like everything, supply chain it wasn't even there. There was no chain. It was broken.
So it could probably have kind of like when you go to your client and say, you can't get these things, and then it's a whole nother, let's figure out what you're going to do.
What's the next
solution? So you're still always problem solving. Mm-hmm. And trying to help the client get the best product for what they're envisioning.
Right. And so we always try to tell our students to try to stay current. Before you have your client sign on the dotted line, you need to make sure that product is available. Mm-hmm. And that also could lead to the lead time, mm-hmm. and let your client know, okay, based on this product here, our lead time is now this, mm-hmm. because we're going to let this product lead our lead time. Mm-hmm. So their project may not start for 6 months because of this particular project or product.
Yeah, I think that's very fascinating. Just all those kinds of deadlines and all these things that you have to make sure that you're going to be getting, or you're going to have a really big mess.
Right.
Have a lot of pieces that aren't going together. It
Right.
feels like.
Yeah.
So
You can't have a whole entire house remodeled done in 2 weeks like HGTV
Yes.
does.
Okay.
Yes. For $10,000
Yeah.
either.
So to me, that's very fascinating that the interior design is always working, not only with the interior design part, but with those deadlines and communication always with the client to make sure, particularly if there's a change, that they do, as you said, look at it and to sign off on it.
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Yes,
that's really interesting to know. So I appreciate knowing that part about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because like you said, I mean, I know your job is more than that, but then I think, gosh, that's a lot of things to keep track of. So it's a big deal now. Anyway, so Linda, you have
Organization, communication.
Yes.
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 I know I just had my bathroom done and it took forever because the part they ordered wasn't the right size. And so then I had to wait for them to do it again. And it was, I probably will never work with that company again. And it's because of the communication.
Yes.
I had to keep calling them to ask them what was going on instead of them contacting me. It was like I got lost.
Yes.
So-
And I think Brandie says that all the time about companies. You want to kind of talk to that point. She had no communication, so she didn't know what was going on with her product. You find that all the time in interior design, correct?
Right. In Wichita, our community, our immediate area around here, you're not going to find a lot of advertisement for interior design businesses. You're not going to find a lot of advertisement for interior design jobs. A lot of it is word of mouth. Sometimes word of mouth can be great for you, but for a project like this, it didn't go so great. You're going to travel further with your comments because of the negativity that happened. So we try to tell students that is your advertisement, is that person that you did a fantastic job on. They're going to help you. But if you did a really bad job, it's going to go the other way. It's going to go the other way. It's not going to be so good.
So thinking about our students, what would an interior design student, could they expect? What type of courses are there? What time frame are we looking at? And what would be your ideal student?
Time frame wise, we're still looking at about 2.5 years to get your associate's degree. I do have one of the largest credit hour courses here. We have 74 credit hours. And that is because we have aligned our courses to be around the NCIDQ. That's the National Council of Interior Design Qualifications. Sorry, too many letters. That is a licensing that is required to practice under the term of interior design in most of the states in the United States. With that, a lot of our classes are just a little bit heavier credit. So there's a lot of projects in our courses. There's a lot of outside work that must be done. So I think we're hitting on those keywords: good organization, good communication. There isn't a lot of testing in our classes. We have a lot of projects that take place of test.
Okay.
We have a lot of projects that you must present to class. So you do have to stand up in class to present, because that's a big portion of what interior designers do. We have to present our product. Course-wise, I think the number of it is the same as everybody else, but you're going to start out, having to learn your codes, your drafting, color theory, blueprint reading, history of architecture and furniture, lighting design. We do have a business course that is just interior design based. So you learn about all of our contracting, how to create a pay structure. We've tried to organize our program so that when you graduate, you have all the knowledge to start your own business.
Nice.
That's very good.
But I highly recommend that they don't.
Yes,
because nothing replaces that on-the-job training. We have not given you that real client. We've not had you work with tradespeople. We've not had you work with lead times and budgets and stuff like that. Ours is all pretend.
So you're saying maybe internships or on apprenticeships are nice?
Nice, or just work under somebody as an assistant designer for a year or two.
Okay.
Learn the good, the bad that you learned out there. Learn how they do their budgeting, how they do their billing, how they work with clients, how they work with the tradespeople. Because it's not just you that's doing the job. You're working with multiple people outside. So those are things that we just can't do in a classroom in a 16-week setting.
Okay. So then once you have an associate's from WSU Tech, do you suggest going on and getting a bachelor's, or is
Not
it
necessarily.
not necessarily? Okay.
Not, at least in the Wichita area, it's not necessary. If you want to go work for large architectural firms, you might find that the bachelor's is great to have on the back for your resume. You can get an associate's degree and be an interior designer.
Okay. That's
It's
really
not
important, I think,
Yeah.
that you can come out of WSU Tech and already be employable.
Yes.
Which is one of our big
Awesome.
mantras, I
Yeah.
would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda, that you can go to work right when you get that degree, that
Yeah.
associate's degree. So that's fantastic.
And I've got students going out there and going to work directly for architectural firms. They're going right in and being an interior designer for
That's
the architectural firm,
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
commercial design firms, or I have had several that have decided to create their own residential firms.
So what kind of pay are we looking at?
It varies. I mean, just like anything, the larger the company, the more pay you get. We usually tell our students don't take anything less than $15 an hour starting out. Obviously, I've taught you a lot, but there's still a lot to know in the field. So that first year, $15 isn't bad because you're still an apprentice.
Still learning.
You're still learning. After that, hopefully you've learned a lot on the job that you can ask for a pay raise, or you can move on to a different firm that pays more. I think the average rate in Wichita is around $45,000 a year.
I was going to say, and the occupational, you're going to help me again.
Occupational Outlook Handbook.
Thank you. Website. It's an app, and it's really, really informative. So I looked up the interior design before that, and it is one of the careers that's on the rise. So that's always a good thing when you're picking a career. You want to pick one that's on the rise. So that's fantastic. And as Brandie said, one of the elements is safety again. So safety is such a big thing anywhere. I really don't think about safety, but I'm glad you did mention it. So
We like to joke sometimes, the doctor gets you feeling better, but we're the ones going to keep you continually getting better and feeling safe because they help you in the hospital. We help you at home.
Right.
yes,
So
yes. So
Well, I am ready to enroll in the interior design program. And
yes,
I know my decorating style is eclectic, just a hodgepodge of everything. And I think I could learn to be a little more sophisticated by taking some of your classes.
and I just want to reiterate what she said, what Brandie said. It says the designers work in specialized design services or in architectural engineering related services. So, like Brandie's been saying, it's not HGTV.
No.
It's actually a lot more and a lot more interesting.
yes.
And a lot more to it. And that's why the pay is better. And that's why it's on the rise as far as one of the jobs that's trending up. Always a good thing. And you can go ahead and get your job right after you get your associates here.
Exactly.
And having looked at Brandie's graduation numbers, she does super with her interior design as far as graduates. Always a lot of them at our graduations. So we're very proud of that here.
So if somebody's interested in coming and being part of WSU Tech and the interior design program, please feel free to reach out to Brandie if you have other questions, or Penny or I, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions, or call and meet with one of our advisors at any of our campus locations, and they can tell you all about the interior design program here at WSU Tech.
We all try to help each other. And, if you see something you like on there, just let us know and we'll get you to Brandie and she can give you a lot more information. And if you like our little podcast,
Please
click, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah. If you want to
Click,
do an
subscribe, and
informational
comment.
interview with Brandie one-on-one, I'm sure she'd be more than happy to. Or you can come to our WSU South location on East Harry here in Wichita, Kansas. And that is where her interior design lab is located. And it is pretty awesome.
And they're always having classes and they always have projects. And we walk by her and we're like, what are you doing today?
Yep.
Because we're doing like business and she's doing fun, cool things. Yes. And they're safe too. But they're a little more interesting than what we have on our cubicles with the Excel sheets and stuff. So anyway, we do appreciate that, Brandie. So as we said, like, subscribe, and comment. And Brandie, Thompson, thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. This was fun. Thank you.
Awesome.
Right. Okay. We'll see you in episode 4.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Wait
Before the holidays.
All right. Bye-bye.
BizBuzz.